All right, Jesse, take it away.
Thank you, Tucker. Hello, everyone. My name is Jesse, as Tucker said. Yeah, I'm in the account management team. I've been at COS for almost 10 years, so 9.5 years. And I've kind of done the rounds in a few different departments. So I started in the receiving team and materials management. And then I moved to the quality team, inspecting aerospace parts after that. And then finally landed in sales, now called account management. And like Tucker said, I work with Collins Aerospace in their relationship management portion of that. Today, I'm going to be sharing our Kaizen form. So this is our tool for basically identifying and removing waste and basically deep problem solving for our processes. We do this as individuals, but with a lot of collaboration. At least that's my experience, and I think that's probably the kind of the optimal way to do this is with a lot of collaboration, because there's a lot of people here with really good ideas and a lot of experience. So start at the top of the Kaizen form. The first thing that we do is we have an owner of the Kaizen. If I'm writing it, it's me. And you just put whatever department you're in and your date. And then describe the problem. So the problem sometimes is even though it may be an obvious thing, it's a challenge to come up with an actual problem statement, because we tend to focus on root causes. So we tend to be focused on why things are bad instead of what actually is going wrong. So and the problem statement, we have a few rules here at COS on problem statements. So it can't include a root cause. We can't assign blame to a person because really this is a process-oriented problem-solving tool. So, and also just keep it simple. So we really want to have a problem that really anybody can understand. So you know, the guest here hopefully will be able to at least in some ways understand the problems that our team is going to be presenting, even though they're not living in this shop every day. Because we usually, you know, we just like to have our problems be as simple as possible. So one measure that we like to go back to is, would a 10-year-old be able to understand this? And if so, then we probably have a good problem statement. The other thing you can see is a circle in the problem statement area and this is how this problem is making you feel. So basically, a lot of times it's frustration. You can see over on the side, there's an upside down smiley face for Sherry's Kaizen that is kind of partially being shown there. A lot of times it's like, you know, I'm pulling my hair out, even though I don't have any hair. It's you know, just a way for us to show our frustration or our anger or whatever the problem is causing us to feel. Because a lot of times, you know, Kaizen, we have an item that we have to do every day, a process or something, and it's just like this nagging thing that just drives us crazy. We all have these things in our daily work that we don't like to do, or sometimes we avoid doing it because it just sucks. So it's a way to show how that is, you know, affecting our mood or our, you know, whatever during our day. So that's the first portion of the Kaizen form. The next part is identifying the waste and quantifying the waste. So this is where that learning of the 7 wastes comes into play. So anything that is involved in this this process that is waste, we identify it and say, where does that fit into the 7 wastes? So we just kind of list that, those items. So, you know, a lot of the admin things that I write Kaizens on they involve mostly processing or motion, and the motion waste for me a lot of times is like clicking and searching in my computer, rather than actually walking around somewhere. So it's like motion inside of, you know, Windows or something, you know, or you know, Mac OS or whatever. So that's often an issue. Also, defects are very common for us to try to go after, just limiting the defects. So basically go through identifying wastes. One thing that we compare this to is when we're gardening, we're identifying the actual weed, because then we know how to take care of it. We know how to remove it. So it's just another tool for us to be able to solve our problem better, basically. The other thing, quantifying waste. So how much time does this thing take? How much time is being wasted by this process? So for us at COS, we use $1 per minute, and we quantify that over a year. So if I'm doing 5 minutes per day, we just do the math. How long is that taking per year? So we basically do an annual waste, you know, kind of a sum of that. And then it just helps us make smart business decisions when we're looking at our countermeasures at the end. So any materials that are wasted too, you can see it says cost plus 15%. So we just add 15% onto whatever the cost of any materials that are wasted. Honestly, for me, I don't really have a lot of materials being wasted in my daily work. It could be like printing a bunch of paper. That could be something. The product development guys probably have more material waste, possibly. They, you know, because they're working with material more than I am. So yeah, we just quantify the total waste for a year, and have that as a decision-making item, basically. The next step, possible root causes. So this is where we really dig deep into how this thing is happening, basically. So first step is to identify kind of the surface level root cause, and then we try to ask why 5 times. So you know, why on the surface is this happening? You know, you find that thing. Okay, why is that happening? And you keep asking why to try to get to the real root of the cause. Because if we do that, then we can actually remove the problem rather than just kind of doing a Band-Aid fix. So the deeper we go, the better solution we're going to come up with. So we do that. The other thing we do along the way, and you can see on the next thing that we come to is a stop sign where are talking, and we meet together and we say, okay, did we identify the right problem statement? Did we identify the waste and quantify the waste correctly? Did we identify all the root causes? So we have that kind of second set of eyes with our mentor. And before I can move on to either the today's fix or the actual countermeasures, we have to agree that I've captured everything. So my mentor is Kelly Johnson. She is the lead of the account management team. And oftentimes we will actually you know, meet with the team. I will meet with the rest of my team and say, hey, I know you guys, you know, either have similar processes or experience the same exact thing as me. Am I capturing everything? So the collaboration aspect is really key, and it makes this a lot easier for us. So once we get the sign off on this, we go to the fun part, which is actually solving our problem. Today's fix, oftentimes for mine, is actually just starting a Kaizen, but keeping on with kind of our current standard. So oftentimes that's what I do for today's fix: start Kaizen, keep doing the current standard. It could be there's some sort of workaround that we have to implement, and that's where you would list this. The next portion, preventative actions. So this is the brainstorming element. One thing that we always list at costs is one of our options is do nothing. It's not the one that we want to take, but it may be that we either don't have the technology to fix our problem at the moment, don't have the correct skills to come up with a solution that makes sense business-wise. We might have some countermeasures that are way too expensive to take at the time. But yeah, we really want to think outside the box here and say, okay, what are some really easy ones that I have to work on? There's some obvious countermeasures that we can think of, and then let's think of some outlandish things, because a lot of times the further outside the box that you can think, you kind of have more options at your disposal then, and you're able to think of a few, things that you may not have thought about earlier. Also, huge to be able to collaborate on this portion as well, because a lot of times, this stuff I think of as far as countermeasures, my team will think of different things because they're different people with different ideas and different experiences. So it's really valuable to pull in ideas from other people. So if we do our big brainstorming and we're satisfied that we have a lot of options, usually there will be one that kind of sticks out that is the thing that we're going to try to do. And then we have 3 core values: know and show the truth, improve every day, best for our best. And when we pick our countermeasures, we just list which countermeasures kind of fall into those core values. And you'll see that when our team members are presenting. Estimated savings. So basically, what was our process before? That's why we quantified the waste before. We know what the actual waste is to begin with. How much time is this saving? And also we have to take into account whatever we're spending on fixing the problem. So, whether a lot of time for me, it's the time that IT is taking on helping me fix my problem. Or, if we're buying something to help fix our problem, we have to take that into account. So basically we just list what we're saving on a yearly basis. And then again, as an owner and my mentor, we review and say, yes, we're going to work on this. We're going to test this out. And so we both sign. Once we've walked it and we have verified that this is going to work, we will again sign, and then I will be responsible to put my smiley face or whatever I have, however I'm feeling now that my problem has been hopefully solved. And then we can sign off again at the end. So yeah, this is our tool. It's really, for us, it's a process based problem solving tool. It's not for like really huge issues. It's really for small processes that we do like on a daily basis. For me, it's a lot of times really apparent if I have something that's just nagging, it's just an annoying thing that I have to do. It's a good indication that I should write a Kaizen for that item.